On today's episode of Six Pack Cinema, we are reviewing To All the Boys I've Loved Before, a Netflix movie, a teenage rom-com. So, of course, you want to hear three 30 and late 20-year-old guys' takes on it. Get ready. Here we go. To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Dude, you should review movies.
Oh my god, yes.
Okay, I've had a couple, so movie review.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. This is Six Pack Cinema. I'm your host, Jimmy. I got John and Dave here, and we're talking about To All the Boys I've Loved Before. How are you guys doing? I'm about to talk for so long, I feel like. So
I can't wait. I see you're ramping up the
like-
talk, and I'm excited to listen.
So I figure
actually.
I'd let you guys say hi, see how you're doing and all that before I go.
I'm really excited because this is the most excited I've seen you in a while because you're done moving. You're back after a couple weeks hiatus.
Hey,
You're rearing to go.
I was happy when I found out what movie we were doing as a Netflix movie. I hadn't heard about this at all. I had like zero idea what I was getting into. All I knew was it was a rom-com. And Netflix has put out some bad rom-coms that like I start and I get out of there. I'm like, fuck that. So I'm going to start off by saying this. I'm 29. I just say I'm 30. This movie's not made for us.
No.
I don't think we are like, hey, what's the market? We think like their targeted ads aren't for 30-year-old men.
Well,
I'm not saying
I can debate that a little bit and just say that this rings a nostalgic factor. We all remember high school.
but I'm not saying we're not supposed to hate it. I'm just saying we're not the ideal demographic.
Sure,
And
I'll buy that.
and
Yeah.
I think if I was to get a room full of our age dudes, a lot of them would be like, don't even want to watch that, man.
Well, no, if you were there individually without a group, they'd love it.
So here's what I have to say. This movie was not for me at all. I do like teen movies. I don't think they've been good since like 2005, since like the American Pie stopped. Teen high school movies have been shitty ever since then. I'm sure that has to do with age. This
Yeah, well.
was the most charming, sweetest movie in a nicest way I've watched in a long time. I planned on watching it in two sittings because I started it when I was like laying in bed. I was like, I'll watch it half and then I'll watch it in the morning or the next night. I took 2 melatonin gummies because I was trying to fall asleep. Stayed up, one sitting, crushed it. Didn't even have to fight sleep. I was just so into it. There's a lot of things I think it did really well. We can like break it down a little bit, but that's my general sense. And I didn't know if you guys knew that's where I was going to go, if I was going to be happy or upset with it. I think it was kind of obvious.
I was hoping you'd love it.
Yeah, my fingers were crossed.
I knew you're all up in the cinematography and like the technical aspect of it, but
Yeah,
I want to
and
make sure you.
We can get into that later. But
Sure.
what's your over like whelming sense of it or whatever that term is?
I had almost the exact same thing. I started it late last night, planning to watch until I just fell asleep and finish it this morning, and I was up till after midnight watching this, which is big for me on a work night. I got hooked right in. I know I'm old. Fuck off.
You're the youngest one here.
I know, but I'm like a grandpa at heart. No, I think you said it best. It was a very charming movie, and I wasn't expecting that going in.
And I also sorry, Sheen, you can go first.
Okay, I was excited to watch this. I had only heard about this movie through one of our followers and a friend of the Instagram, Pop Culture Vulture. She's from New Zealand. She's wonderful, and she talked about it. But I didn't put much like credence into it. I didn't listen to her video. I just kind of passed it on because I was like, oh, that's kind of a girly movie, whatever. But then I heard we're watching it, and I was so excited because the past, like, I feel like 6 weeks to 2 months, I've had to watch movies or whatever we're watching in secret or like wedge it in after work before I come home, or because the wife has got no interest in watching puppets fucking or action comedy, you know. So I get to sit down. I got to come home last night, pulled a bottle of wine, some cheese and crackers. We had a nice night. I didn't have to be ashamed of my like side job or my hobby. It was excellent, and the fact that the movie was really, really good was just cherry on top. It made me feel great to watch this. It was like cozy. I'll bring that one back. Cozy, nostalgic, Everyone has those high school crushes. Everyone has those things that that they did that was stupid, like writing letters and addressing them and putting stamps on them and not sending them. Dumb. Should have shredded them. I just loved it.
Yeah,
So I can't wait to hear what Jimmy you have to say about it, because I think I'm more of a fan right now listening to what you have to say.
So I want to preface it like I don't think every 30-year-old, every guy is gonna like it, and I think expectations plays a big part. You know what I mean? And I think like watching it, like you said, you watched it with your wife. I could watch it with my girlfriend. It's like a movie. Like The Notebook is a phenomenal movie. But
I watched it with my cat. We all did the same thing.
But I'm not gonna go just like crush The Notebook and some beers with the dudes. That's what this movie is. I want to talk about the lead actress. I want to talk about like the whole plot, and then later on the technical aspects, which were like so surprising. My favorite thing, I think, is the lead actress. I thought she crushed the role perfectly. And if you didn't have like a crush on her by the end of the movie, what's wrong with you? That's what I think. You didn't have a crush on her?
No, I didn't either.
No.
You
I
guys
also-
didn't like.
I-
Do you
I
think she
liked-
did well?
Oh, I think
By
you
the
did well.
end, by the end of the movie, yes, but the first like 15 minutes, I wasn't like a huge fan. But then she grew on me.
So she's supposed to be like this shy, awkward, lonely girl. So many times we've seen that get the Zooey Deschanel effect, where it's just so quirky, so overboard, so like usually movies are really bad at doing awkward. They make it so awkward that you're like, this is now awkward because
cringeworthy.
that's not actually how awkward things are. And I thought this did a really good job of keeping it like somewhat awkward. And I think you got a good sense that this girl was genuinely lonely, and it wasn't like she was a sad sack loser. She was just really, really, really not confident around her friends. And her dad said that at the end when he took her to the diner, and he says, well, I know you've liked that because you're like that around us, but you've never been like that to the world until whatever that Peter came into your life. And it was like clicked with me. They did a really good job of that. She was she was shy, but she wasn't going to get pushed around. Like anytime Jen, who they spelled it with a G, which made me hate her even more.
Yeah. That was the reason that she was my like number one hated character. It was because of her name.
You fucking guys with your subtitles. See, if you didn't, that's team no subtitles, because that wouldn't even come close to bothering you.
It was short for Genevieve. But so like she didn't let Genevieve push her around because she wasn't truly a sad or shy person. She just felt uncomfortable like in public.
She was just an introvert.
Yeah. So I thought she did a really good job with that. I thought she was really funny too. Like sometimes like her reactions to things made me like laugh. That's when there was one scene. Katie was in bed and she was watching something else because she had already watched this. And I like paused and I was like, Katie, this girl's funny. Like real subtle, funny. It was like the narration was like, I've never been to a ski trip, obviously. And then like on screen she made a face where like she's thinking that through. I was like, she did it pretty well. So I thought she crushed the role.
She did pretty well. At the end of the movie, I didn't have a crush on her at all, but I did want to be like her best friend. I think she would be like a solid addition to any crew.
It's fair.
I agree.
Yeah,
I would like to hang out with her.
she'd be fun at a party.
What was
My favorite person.
Who's your favorite?
My favorite person, easily, hands down, is her little sister.
Yeah, she was pretty.
She
good.
was fucking awesome.
Kimmy.
She could be bought by a car ride.
Kitty.
Kitty.
Sorry, yeah.
With a T or a D?
T, like a cat.
T.
Cat.
Okay, Kitty. That's what I thought.
You know if
just
you watch with
such
subtitles.
Yeah, whatever. She such a. I mean, I'm a younger brother, and the move of running into the house and being late just so she can get a helmet for like a split second gag.
Yeah.
Such a little sibling move, and I loved it. And and such another little sibling move is to pull it out multiple times, even though it's been dead. You do it to death, and you still laugh your ass off yourself because it's not about her; it's about you. You're entertaining yourself.
She also made me laugh when the dad was like, "What's wrong with her?" After she sent the letters out, she goes, "It's Moon Day," and the dad was like, "That's not how it works." And she's like, "Says you, Mr. Man." I was like,
He's a
fuck.
fucking OBGYN.
yeah. Fuck. Why'd that make me laugh? That was pretty good. From that little girl.
I think the dad was my favorite character. He was like sneaky hilarious, and a lot of times in these movies when they have like one parent who passed away a long time ago, they make the surviving parent kind of like sad and mopey, and he wasn't at all.
Or
he was just
over-
like a happy-go-lucky like single father.
Or super overwhelmed. Yeah, there's always like he was pretty stable.
Yes. And I actually spit out my water and laughed when he was dropping her off at the ski trip, and he was like, and pulling out is not protection.
Yeah. I think they didn't overdo any stereotype. Like that would have been a stereotype for the single grieving father. The little sister was somewhat of that like little quirky. She was probably the biggest stereotype. That,
But it
or
still was
not
like-
trope. I would say like,
Yeah.
Trope,
like movie
okay.
trope. But the whole high school experience, I really liked that there wasn't like what? You can go.
There was
shoot.
one stereotype that they hammered home that they didn't have to, and that was that Asians can't drive.
I didn't even like
I
realize
didn't
that.
even
Wait,
think
wait.
of that till just now, but that's hilarious.
Yeah, when she pulled out, and just that somebody said like, oh, when she pulled out and hit the guy, and when she backed out into him in the parking lot, she's like, I'm sorry, and he's like, well, I know. It's like makes sense. There was like some very undertones of like, well, yeah, you're Asian, I know.
I thought like the high school, like everyone kind of just got along. Like there wasn't like Peter wasn't the jock character. Like he played sports, but he wasn't that like bro jock. And even like her best friend, she dressed like the little girl from Hocus Pocus, but she wasn't like crazy weird. Like they didn't overdo any of the high school cliques and like high school. No one like Jen was a bitch, but no one was like there wasn't like people shoving people in the hallways or like being really nasty. I don't know. It felt like more like everyone just got along.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it reminded me of my actual high school.
Yeah, everyone was just more civil. Like there wasn't like sure like we hung out with different people, but it wasn't jocks versus nerds.
Yeah.
That friend, the one Hocus Pocus you called it, I saw her and I couldn't help but think of the friend from American Pie.
Yes.
The
Oh,
one
Thank
who
you.
Shipwreck
Thank you.
paid.
The-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It
the
was
one who
bothering
like
me.
taught them all about sex, or like
Yes.
the girls about it. Yes.
It was bothering me for like halfway through the movie, then it finally clicked, and I was so relieved.
Thank you. I didn't even realize that it was in the back of my head, being like, she looks like someone.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
well,
Thank you so much.
there was moments where like when they were making the contract and stuff and the main actress did it so well where you could see her face and you're like, oh, she's like smitten by this. She's like, wait, he's really gonna pick me up from school? Like, wow, like this is so nice to have a boyfriend. And then he drops another line like, I want to write your notes because that'll make Jen jealous. And she's like, oh, how romantic. And she goes back and forth from being smitten by it and serious to being able to laugh at the situation, and you're like, oh shit, she's gonna get her heart broken. Where I feel like they could have just had her like 100% buy into the relation, like play that. I can't believe this is happening. It's real, but she was able to, on the outside, put up that like sarcastic, like, yeah, this is fake.
Were you ever fully committed to one way or the other? Did you think it was fake or did you think it was real? Because I was on the fence back and forth the whole time.
I called
don't get-
it being real when in the beginning she was like, that's like 3 months away. We're not going to be doing this fake thing for 3 months. And he was like, let's call it an insurance policy. I was like, all right, he actually likes her, and he's like, this will be my way to show her that.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
it was always weird on her part. My thinking was the intentions of the guy Peter. I was like, all right, maybe he's just trying to use this ploy to get, because he's a dumb high school kid, and we all do dumb, stupid things, and he was just trying to use this as like a ploy to get close to her. So I was back and forth. I was like, well, maybe he is trying to make her jealous, or maybe he is just really trying to get with this girl. Who knows? Maybe he's trying to do both. So basically that lasted the whole movie, which made it kind of great for me, because I never fully understood like which way he was going.
I didn't even that thought process didn't really cross my mind. My whole guess was that she was going to fall for him hard come ski trip, and at the ski trip the other girl, Jen, was finally going to be like, I broke up with my boyfriend, let's get together. And he was going to go to her and say straight faced, okay, great, it worked, we can stop now. And then she was going to get her heart broken, and then in like the third act he was going to realize like he was going to be dating Jen again, and then realize it wasn't what it was like. I feel like that's how a 90s one would have gone.
Yes.
Yes.
And then I was happy it didn't. But I still have some problems with the way everything went down.
Go ahead.
Plot wise. Well, my one complaint is they should have showed they should have showed the audience him going to Jen's room, and maybe we didn't need audio, but at least a visual where he just like walks in and then walks out right away.
Or like you see her open the door even before it fades away.
But I think the audience needed to know that he didn't hook up with her and he did go just to say goodbye, so that we could, because I still don't trust that he didn't do anything.
I kind of like it that way. I like I like how you get the perception of her. You get her point of view.
Yeah, but do you trust? I guess that's what he said. You just gotta trust now.
You don't trust any boy under 25 years old. That's just the rule.
Also, like, I was thinking, like, why would he do that? What a dumb idiot to go. And, like, that's definitely what a 16-year-old would do. Like, oh, I'm so in love with whatever her name was. I can't.
LJ?
I'm so in love with LJ. I'm going to go tell Jen right away that it's officially done with us, and LJ will love this. And then not even realize, like, how bad it looks. Like, fucking idiot.
Yep.
Like, the young
Classic
guys
high
are just
school.
stupid. All right. Let's get into the cinematography, and then we can get into casting.
Well, did you want to get into things you didn't like beyond that, or is that it?
I do have one complaint.
What's your complaint?
I felt as though that they jumped into the mailing of the envelopes, the letters, like way too like. It's like, oh, it happened. I felt like the whole point of the movie was mailing out these letters to the boys that she used to love, and it was just like, oh, that happened as a side. Like, oh, we're in this situation now.
She accepted it.
I like that. That
I don't know, I
it just
just felt
happened
like-
right away and just got it out of the way, so we didn't spend half the movie.
I wish there was like a 45 to 60 second montage of all the boys opening them up, like the mail, like, oh, open mail. What's this ratty old letter I'm going to read now? Like, just something like that would be nice. That's all I'm saying.
No, I liked how she found out, and I like that we found out how she found out. Like, she was like, what? But I got to say,
Yeah, I guess
I went back and rewatched the first 15 minutes because I was not watching it with a close eye. I had no idea what the plot of the movie was at all. I just went to Netflix and played it. And then once he walked up with the letter and she was like, what? And then she looked at the letter and it was like, oh, shit. And then the other guy has the letter. And I was like, that's when I started paying attention hard from there to the rest of the movie. So then the next day I went back and watched the first 10 minutes again because I was not paying attention. Like, do you guys know that her best friend is cousins with Genevieve?
Yeah.
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, you were on Twitter, so.
I didn't know that. And then I went back and watched it. I just wasn't paying
Well,
attention closely.
they also mentioned that near the end of the movie, so you weren't paying attention then.
Well, it was a lot of information right up front. That's what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
feel like it was slightly rushed with a little bit of details, but I guess I just contradicted myself anyways because I just got done saying how I liked it was just her point of view from the hot tub thing.
Yeah. So the same thing. But
Yeah.
I heard the witch call Jen cuz, but I thought the witch was just a weirdo who used weird slang.
Like she was like
hey,
Pat McAfee,
cousin.
like Cuzzo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope, legitimate cousins.
All right, so I pointed this out to you guys because I didn't want to say it on here. Sometimes I talk about technical stuff, and then you guys are like, oh, I didn't notice that. So I didn't want that to happen. So I pointed out while you guys were watching. I don't know. You probably would have picked up. Maybe you would have picked up on it anyway. But the color scheme of the movie was so consistent. Every single scene had teal. They called it teal in the movie, so I'm changing it. I was calling it turquoise, but she calls her box teal. But every shot has it. I thought it was awesome. I think that means it's a well thought out and planned and mapped movie, probably over 6 months of shooting. They had that planned. Okay, we want this. Like, it's established. It's not like halfway through they found that, then they liked it because you shoot out of order. What did you think of that? Because maybe someone thinks it's too much or just don't care.
I love it.
Sorry, go on, Shane.
So yeah, I mean I love that. It's one of those things that if you don't pick up on it, it's definitely noticeable. Whether you notice, it's weird. It's something you notice subconsciously as an aesthetic. You can tell when something matches. You can tell when something like someone walks down the street and they're really well dressed, put together. The fact that you don't notice them is a good thing. If you notice them like wearing something that's mismatched or ugly, you notice. So the fact that this was subtly placed and I didn't really pick up on it until you said anything, it's a win for them because they've just made everything look so nice in general. I will say this though, even if you hadn't told me, I would have picked up on the fact when she was going to the table when she was trying to eat carrots in the library. This was wonderful. You could see it was completely perpendicular to the wall, following her, and I saw like a little rectangle of turquoise books on in the background. I was like, oh, I know where she's fucking sitting, and she's plopped down right in front of this little rectangle of like one color books. I was like, oh, it's amazing. I love that.
Dave,
Yeah,
did you like it or dislike it?
No, I liked it, and I agree 100% with Sheehan. It's not something I would have ever consciously noticed until you called it out to me. But in my head, I would have been like, "Oh, that's a really well like put together movie," and that's a big reason why. Mm-hmm. I just wouldn't have known that's why I was thinking it.
And then I didn't even talk about the framing, and you said the Wes Anderson style. There was a lot of really flat, really symmetrical, like 2D framed shots. Like if you can picture when she's laying on the ground and it's just right above her. So it's just her in a background, like 2D. They did that a lot, and I think like that's just kind of the creativity that you don't see in rom-coms at all. Usually you can find YouTube videos that make fun of the editing in rom-coms because it's just your basic, we're not going to tell the story through editing, we're going to tell it through dialogue. Like rom-coms are usually just dialogue driven. And the way they edit, kind of quirky and fun, put personality into the whole world.
Mm-hmm. I call it like you're watching it. It's like it's shot like a play, like you're
Yeah.
standing at the foot of a stage, and that's what. Yeah.
Do you notice that, Dave?
Yeah, 100%.
It's weird to have like a teen rom-com have like such a style.
That was probably actually like my favorite thing about the movie overall. I think I'm less love the story and the characters compared to you guys at least. But I finished the movie being like, that was a really well put together movie. Everything from like the script, the script was all right to the technical stuff. I enjoyed it just visually.
The cinematography was my favorite. I like that better than the acting and the story and all that.
See, I enjoy the symmetry of it, and like right now, I'll point out, Dave, your background bothers me, and Jimmy, yours is really irritating me because you got wonderful vertical lines going up and down, but this wooden background, but at the top fucking corner you have that frame, and it's irritating me. That's better. I don't mind that. You just turn the light off, so I just see your face. But you got to move that frame, or at least move it out of picture because it is distracting.
It's a nice turtle.
I don't care.
Is it? I can't see it. Oh, there it is.
Look at that. It's beautiful.
Talk, Jimmy, so your screen's big.
There you go. Nice turtle.
Oh, nice. I like it.
Yeah.
I have a gorilla.
Nice. All right, let's move on to the casting. Because
Okay.
I Googled this. In the books, this is a book series. The main character looks the most like the mom, and the youngest daughter looks the most like the dad. And I didn't know they didn't say what the oldest daughter looks like. They're supposed to be of mixed race. She's full Vietnamese, the actress that plays the main LJ. And the other two, I don't even know. Like they may have something, but they don't look that Asian. I saw some negative reviews saying it was distracting or whatever. Like what was that? Like they're clearly not sisters. Did you guys care?
That's bullshit. I did not give a shit about that at all.
Before we were recording, Shane said something about the youngest sister, and I actually thought she looked the most like she was from like a mixed family. But not that I cared either. I mean, people are acting. I don't care as long as they have like good chemistry on screen. I don't care if they don't look like they're 100% biological siblings.
Well, since the dead mother is Asian, I appreciated the fact that the three daughters were at least a little bit Asian. And that's all I really needed. And they got that, and I was happy with it.
I mean, I was a little distracted. Like, wait, how are they related? They don't look like sisters.
Gene pools are a mess sometimes, and you don't know what's going to come out. When you have a white father and an Asian mother, anything's possible.
This girl is in X-Men Apocalypse. Did you know that?
Is she?
So I'm looking at a picture right now of Olivia Munn, Jennifer Lawrence, Sophie Turner, and the girl from this movie, along with two others who I don't really know.
I know who she is.
This is a super interesting picture because I find those four girls, Olivia Munn, Jennifer Lawrence, the main girl from this, and Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones, find them all very attractive. When you put them all next to each other, it's like, who's the most attractive? It's like, do I really find them all attractive?
Not so much.
In comparison.
So I wanted to bring up casting for. I hadn't even thought about the daughters. My big issue or compliment was the fact that her. Oh, you sent us the picture. Hold on. let's
I
get
gotta
derailed.
click it now.
Yeah. Send us a photo and Jesus Christ.
Mine's still loading.
Yeah, you're right. There's one who's much hotter than the others. Spoiler alert: it's Jennifer Lawrence.
Is it? Hang on, mine's still loading. God damn it. Oh,
She doesn't. This girl, Laura, whatever her name is,
Laura Jean.
Lana Condor.
No.
She doesn't even look the same.
Well, no, because they had to play her like a little girl in the movie. Like they hit her
Yeah.
boobs the whole movie.
Yeah. Oh, and I love how her older sister Margot was fucking 37. She was so old.
That reminded me of like Tobey Maguire in the first Spider-Man, where
Yeah.
it's clearly like a 35-year-old guy playing a high schooler.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, I like the fact that they really not so subtly made a point of three of the guys that she loved, excluding the gay guy, were essentially the same fucking person. They with Peter and Josh next door and the guy the last scene, the guy from Model UN. If you put them in a lineup, and shuffle them up, they were basically identical. Did you guys not pick up on that?
She had a type. I don't know the third guy you're talking about, but
Yeah, I don't remember the third guy.
He opened the door at the last scene with flowers and shit. It could have been Peter, but if you did,
I don't remember that scene at all. No, that was Peter at the end who showed up with flowers.
No. That was John Ambrosia.
oh,
No.
are you talking about like end credits sequel baiting?
No, that was just the fact that Ambrosia, the guy, he was Model UN and he wasn't in this country.
I promise you, that was Peter
Dave,
who showed up
I
trying
will,
to apologize.
Dave, I will stall and I will talk. You start Netflix and you fucking find this, and I will prove to you that you're wrong.
Okay.
Okay. So these three guys are identical, and I think it was chosen to say that it was her type. She's got a very, very type. And
Well, not
not
the
to
gay
mention,
guy.
yeah, exactly. So I thought that was kind of nice. But finding three actors that were basically identical, bravo, casting director. Also, see, I had a hard time. Maybe I'm just really not good with noticing small characteristics. But the guy Josh next door, I finally figured out how to differentiate him from the other guy because he looked like a sober Pete Davidson.
Yeah, so there's a scene after the credits, Dave. John
Oh,
is a loser, sticks around for after credit shots.
I didn't know there was something after the credits.
Yeah, this is
It's
a book.
not-
This is a book series, so it's a sequel. There's like 3 more coming out, which I'm not excited. I wish it was a standalone. And yeah,
I don't think it's sequel baiting. I'm thinking that's just saying like, oh, by the way, that fifth letter. You didn't think about the fifth letter the whole time.
No.
That never crossed your mind. You guys are idiots. Because the fourth letter, the fifth letter came back.
Wow,
She
who's
sent it
the
to
idiot
camp.
now?
Shut the fuck up.
You can't even count. What a loser.
So the fifth letter came back to her. It got returned to sender because she sent it to camp. That makes sense. The fourth letter was still out there the whole time. You guys didn't even consider that?
No, I didn't care.
Dumb. It went to John Ambrosia, the guy from the Model UN, who came and showed up at her doorstep because he probably booked a flight from whatever state he came from, and he came with flowers. And that's not sequel baiting. I think that just goes to show, like, hey, by the way, you forgot about this guy, and he went out of his way, and he's too late.
What about the fact that there's going to be a sequel?
Is there actually going to be a sequel? It isn't about John Ambrosia?
Very much seems like it.
I don't think it's about John Ambrosia.
I'm like watching through the credits now and I don't see this fucking scene.
It's before the black credits. That's a 1 hour 35 minutes.
So if
alright.
you're telling me that like the pre-real credits, the post like fancy credits and pre-real credits is not like you don't stick around for that.
No, as
You
soon,
gotta
as,
wait-
as soon as words are on the screen, I'm out.
Oh yeah.
You gotta wait for the
I
black
turned it off
scroll.
while they were still walking back across the field.
You guys don't watch fucking movies right.
No,
Don't
we
say that.
It's
We
not
do this for a
over.
podcast.
It's not over until the black roll scrolls.
we use
Well,
subtitles.
in
We watch them
theaters,
first.
I sit and watch the thing.
Because you watch Marvel movies and you know.
No, I did. My dad did that growing up, so I've been doing that for movies.
I'm appalled that you guys are giving me shit. Fine, if you guys don't want to watch it, fine. But I mean,
No, I'm
watching
trying
a
to
full,
watch it right now.
I'm watching a full movie, and you guys are giving me shit because we're doing a movie podcast about this thing. Of course, I'm gonna watch it. Watch it.
John.
Are you like slinking out of screen? What's going on here?
John, the fact
What?
that you watch the credits makes you a loser.
Fuck no, it does not. There was a vital scene at the end, in between. It was a vital scene to the plot, Jimmy. Okay.
I'm still watching them walk across this fucking field and waiting for this scene.
It was
Welcome
a
to
crucial
Six
element
Pack
to the movie.
Cinema, where three guys in their 20s and 30s argue about the end credits of a
I'm like
teen
biting the
rom-com.
fucking microphone right now.
Oh my god.
What?
Why is
Let's
this
move on
taking
to
so
ratings
long?
and reviews.
Okay, I'm gonna watch this scene though later.
Yeah, watch it. Ratings and reviews. Let's do popcorn first. Dave, you can go first.
I just gave it 3. I mean, it was a fun movie, but it didn't like wow me. I wasn't like I need to watch this again or anything.
All right.
Oh,
It was a fun movie.
I feel like that's
John?
contrary to everything we've just said.
For
Okay.
those new listeners, popcorn scale is entertainment, rewatchability, not technical.
Just if you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. I'm going to give it a 4.
All right. I'm giving it a 4.5, which is a 3.8. Expectations play
So 4.
4.
expectations play a huge role in this, and I told you I took sleeping gummies, and I powered through those to finish it. So I gotta go pretty high there.
Yep. So a 4 popcorn is nothing to sniff at. That's
Yeah,
pretty good.
I'm fine with that average. That works out well because I know
Yes.
that I'm a little high.
Yeah.
No, you're not. I think that was substantially good. It
All
was
right.
a great movie.
Let's go to critical. This is difficult because it's a teen rom.
It is. I bump it up because I look at it as a nostalgia movie because it's not. I chose to look at it like that.
I want to go first because I don't have mine written down, so I wanna finalize it before I get influenced by you guys.
Go
Okay.
nuts. Yep, good call.
I'm giving this an 85
Oof.
because
Okay, explain yourself.
Well, we talked a lot about the technical aspects,
Yep.
which I think goes into cinema critical rating. Talked about the acting. I thought that was all really good. And I thought the writing with the non-cliches and the not over-the-top teen rom-com stuff was good. So I wanted to go high, but it is still a teen rom-com. So obviously you can't go high 80s. But I think it's well made. And for its genre, I think it's top tier. Like
Yes.
within its own genre, if you do teen rom-coms, I think this is the best of the bunch recently. Like compare this to 13 Reasons Why on Netflix. It is leaps and bounds better.
Well, that's not a rom-com
That's
at
not.
all.
That's not even closely comparable.
It's just
man.
a teen
But
movie.
compare this to The Package.
You were going.
better.
You were going so well, and I was on board. Then you threw that out there.
Well, I was just comparing it to high school characters and like high school cliches.
Sure.
That's why I threw it The Package, which leans
High
heavily
school-
into all the
high school
cliches.
crush, high school slitting wrists. I mean, you're the same genre for sure.
High school
Okay,
characters.
I'm going to jump in here because I agree with you in all those points. It's. I'm just going to go ahead and say 83. I wrote that down. It felt right. It's a B- for me. I mean, goddamn, I'm a sucker for anything Wes Anderson-ish, and this was that in spades. I had problems with some of the pacing of it a little bit. I thought it rushed at the beginning, but not too much to demerit it too much. So yeah, 83, B-.
All right, Dave.
I am giving it a 75. I agree with everything you guys said.
You just don't care.
I wasn't as enamored with it as y'all said. I'll bump it up a little bit. I hadn't taken into consideration I hadn't taken into consideration the fact that there aren't a ton of hammered-in tropes in this. Because I wrote down all my ratings right after I watched it last night.
Okay.
And Jimmy brought up a good point with that. So I'll bump it up to 80.
That brings us. That was good because I was about to make a rude joke about you hating motherless Asians, but that brings us to an. That brings us to.
Jesus Christ.
That brings us to an
Oh.
82.6.
Old Jimmy would have said that, but not new Jimmy.
Credit to New Jimmy.
Yeah,
Yeah, he didn't make that joke.
I didn't say it because he raised his score.
So 83.
Yeah, I'm happy with the
83%.
I'm happy with the averages both ways.
So 83% for popcorns. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
That's a
what are
go-see
you guys
movie.
gonna have with it if you watch it again?
You know what everyone's gonna have whatever
that?
your girlfriend or wife wants to have with it. You don't have a say in this movie.
No, you're
Or
going to
cat.
be responsible,
Or cat.
and you're going to put kombucha in a red Solo cup. I mean, yeah, cool.
Which is still alcoholic, by the way.
It was so refreshing that he was a nice guy and not a dick.
I know.
Yeah.
He's nice.
He's just like a normal guy.
But that was part of it. I was like, how far is this ruse going? Because I expect rom-coms for like one shitty guy.
Yeah, and it was cool when like the gay guy was like, "You're the one that's acting like you don't like him. He likes you."
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, and he pointed it out to her.
Yeah. I said pair with milkshakes just because they kept going to that diner, and that was like their spot. And the first time they went there, he was ordering
Like
a
that was,
milkshake.
Like twice, maybe. I can only remember once.
Well, didn't she go there, and then he went there, and then she went there with
Her
him,
dad,
and she
her
went.
dad and her mom used to go there. The picture of her mom was there.
There was 3 times they went there. She went with her dad.
Also, by the way, if you're dancing in the aisles of a diner like that, you're an asshole.
Oh,
Or
you're
drunk.
So, you're,
I assume they were drunk.
you're so weird.
Yeah, you're an asshole. Like, if I'm at a diner and somebody's dancing next to me, fuck off. That's not what I go there for.
I agree with that, but it just reminds me of when I was in college, and like you'd be waiting in McDonald's at like 3 a.m. for your drunk food, and like the sorority girls would be dancing to their like iPhone music. I assume they were hammered kids.
Maybe. Whatever. Don't dance at diners.
Don't dance at diners.
That is the name of this episode.
Don't dance at diners.
Don't
Yep.
dance at diner. We should
quote.
do that.
Cool.
All right. Thank you guys very much for listening. If you saw this movie, send us what your score would be, your popcorn, and your critical. That's something you can do. Go to
At Six Pack Cinema.
Go to the Instagram at Six Pack Cinema. We're going to post our score and review, and then you comment yours. Boom. Done. You're involved now.
Excellent.
You're part of the show. Thanks for listening. See you guys.
Bye.
Later.